Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Morning Hustle. Is a young lady whose whole career right now feels like a rapid heartbeat. First you get the dun, you seeing her something. Then it's the dun, you seeing three more things. And then boom, seeing something else. Ladies and gentlemen, in the studio today, one of the stars of the new movie, The Invisible Man. Make some noise for Storm Reid!
Yo.
Yo, shorty, you in everything right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have, to be
Yes.
ultra popping.
It's a blessing.
Going from something like Euphoria, which was the last thing I think a lot of people got a chance to see
I love
you
that
on.
show.
Thank you.
Yo, and the role you play, in
Yeah.
that, and just understanding the dynamics of like dealing with people who have addiction, like you
Right.
sold that so well,
Thank you.
and now you in the horror genre, Invisible
Yes.
Man. How'd that feel?
It feels good. Like I said, it's a blessing. I try to choose my projects strategically, and I try to be a part of things that are very positive.
Can
And
you
that
bring your mic a
have-
little bit closer?
Yeah, that are positive and purposeful and have an impact. And I feel like even though this is a horror film and it is a genre piece, we're talking about gaslighting and domestic abuse and toxic masculinity. So I like to have messages in the projects I choose to be a part of.
And I feel like for you to be such a young lady, you dive into these deep, hard topics. And what have you been going through your life that you you can relate to this stuff?
I mean, I haven't, thankfully, knock on wood, I won't go through any of the situations that my characters have gone through, but I feel like it's important to depict what people are going through and
Right.
represent the world as a whole. I feel like if you're representing one thing or one situation or one person, then you're doing the world a disjustice.
Right.
So, I mean, I am a young African-American girl, but I could tell the perspectives of a whole lot of other girls out there that are inspired by me or watch me.
Yeah, I know when you did Don't Let Go with David Oyelowo, me and L'Oreal
Yeah.
went to see it. It's like you do a lot of, it's almost like sci-fi in a way, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like that one was about time travel in a sense, and then you have A Wrinkle in Time and just all these really creative projects. I didn't know that you get to pick your own projects. So do you find that you're getting more of those types of roles, or just
I mean,
when it
I'm
comes
getting
to
projects at every day that are dramas or sci-fi or horror or even comedy. But I feel like, again, it's just me being very strategic with my team and my mom and reading these scripts and making sure okay, yes, we like a script, but is the creative team right? Are the creatives diverse? It just, there's a lot that goes into to picking things. So I feel like that's why I am very selective with it, because it's deeper than just what's going to be shown on screen.
And you've been in things that, occupy so many pockets of pop culture, whether you're talking about a video with Beyonce, which,
Right.
comes with a high level of clout.
Yeah.
When They See Us.
Yes.
Slate, which was an underground classic,
Right.
and, Don't Let Go, which I loved as well, and Euphoria, and now on to this. What do people run up on you for the most because they recognize you?
Ooh, just people who see me on the street, or
Yeah,
okay.
yo, I loved you in...
Probably A Wrinkle in Time. A lot
Right.
of young people, it's A Wrinkle in Time. A lot of young girls, oh my God, I was able to see myself save the world, which makes my heart melt every time. And then recently it's been a lot of Euphoria.
It
people.
has
It's
to be.
oh my God, Euphoria, when is it coming back? But that's just been a blessing, because it is a piece of entertainment, and the things that we go through in the show are very heightened. But again, we're having a conversation about what young people are going through. I think that's why people love it so much, is because it is relatable. And as a young person, I haven't been through the situations, but I know that there are a lot of young people that are going through those situations. So I think that's why people love it so much.
Right. Did you have a conversation with your parents around that time? Because that show is a lot.
It is.
It's even been times when I've been like, should I be watching this?
Right.
And I'm grown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So was there ever a time that they were like, I don't know about this. This might be a little bit too much. Or even yourself.
No, I feel like we just went in the project knowing that it was going to be a lot, and that Sam, our creator and writer and director, was going to be pushing the envelope. But we told my team that we didn't want him to take me too far. We didn't want Gia to be going down the bad slope too fast. I mean, obviously she's gonna get older in the second seasons and in the seasons to
We
come.
see you getting a little fast
Right.
now.
she's making some bad decisions?
Right. So of course her circumstances are gonna make her go through things and do certain things that are probably not the best.
Right.
But I'm glad that she was able to just be on the sidelines and watch her sister. And like you were saying before, it's important to show that dynamic of how it affects the family members and how somebody who is struggling with addiction is not the only one struggling. But I know second season that Gia will be having her own episode and her own storyline.
Okay.
She might be cutting up
Come
a little
on,
bit.
Gia.
Okay. Do you find
Looking
yourself in one of those
forward to
power spinoffs? Because it seems like they're grabbing everybody for those too. Are you in one of those?
No, I mean, Power was so good. I mean,
Tariq's
if I could like
girlfriend.
guest star and like pop on and do something on
You
Power.
gonna play like a young Lala?
Yeah, something. I could just pop in and act a little crazy. I would love that.
That'd be ill, man. So The Invisible Man, like, you know, a cherished piece of horror movie history. You know, like, you know, that was a big thing back in the
That's
days.
right.
But doesn't have, like, the original didn't have the fear level of, let's just say, a Jason Voorhees, a
Exactly.
Freddy Krueger, even the guy from Hellraiser.
Right.
But the way they spun this one,
This looks crazy.
Whoa!
Insane. I mean, again, I haven't seen it, but when I was doing press in LA, everybody was coming in the room and saying that it was terrifying,
Oh,
which
man.
makes me so excited like
I'm
to
not
see it
ready, me
tonight
neither.
because even though I know like all the hard work we put into it and like I was saying before, the messages that it has in it, I just like love a good scary movie and I love to be on the edge of my seat. So to have the best of both worlds and like reimagining what people love and what people have loved for a long time, it's a really cool opportunity.
now we were talking off the grid and you say that you typically have a hard time watching yourself on screen. So what
do.
was a moment that you could go back to where you wish you could undo something that you were seeing as it was happening?
Ooh, probably what I was talking about before when I was watching A Wrinkle in Time and my lips were crusty and dusty.
Were you licking your lips like trying to make a...
I probably was. I was like, dang, they couldn't give me some chapstick. And it was a really good scene. I think it was like an emotional scene, so I get why Miss Ava kept it in the movie. But I was like, dang, if I just had a little bit of lip gloss or something.
Somebody
Like,
could've-
that is authentic.
Right, she like, you know what
She
makes
wanted-
this great? That chap top lip right there.
That's what mom needed to come through with the.
Yeah.
You know.
Somebody told me to lick my lips or something.
So, okay.
I was gonna say you to start your career with so many heavy hitters when it comes to Hollywood. You've got the Oprahs, the Ava DuVernays, Reese Witherspoon, you know, and they have kind of planted some seeds in you. I know you. I was looking at an interview. You call it artivism, putting activism in your art.
Yes.
Was, you know, speak to how they instilled some of those values, especially when you're young and you struggle with like image, confidence. When it comes to Hollywood, a lot of it is about how you look. So to be surrounded by such a strong village early on seems to be very helpful in what you've done and creating your own organization, Be Amazing, things like that. So
yeah, it's really cool to have such powerful people in my corner and somebody that I can lean on and they can pour into me. But I think what I admire the most about those ladies that you mentioned is, yes, they're powerhouse women and they are making boss moves, but they're still good people. And I feel like that's just the most important thing. You can't get too far, in my opinion, if you're not a good person, and they are prime examples of that. And like you said, being a young person, it is hard being in this world right now because our socio-political climate, we feel like we have to grow up a little faster
Right.
than the average kid used to. But I feel like Gen Z is handling it very well, and we know that we are worthy of being seen and being heard. And I created an initiative called Be Amazing that just aims to empower young people through positive self-declarations. So it's all about, I feel like right now we live in a society that's all about conformity and like conforming to what people want you to look like or what they want you to do. But just knowing that you can be perfectly imperfect and your flaws make you you and you should embrace that, then that's the most powerful thing. So I'm trying to be a change agent.
what's some of the best business advice they gave you though? I feel like if I'm around Oprah, Ava DuVernay, just to
Right,
name a
right.
few.
Amazing
I
black
just would,
woman.
and you know, I know they probably told you a lot about loving yourself and all that. That, you know, we know they're very spiritual,
Right.
you know, empowering people, but they're also excellent business people. And you're talking about producing your own projects. So from a business standpoint, did they give you any advice that really just has stuck with you as you're moving forward?
I was having a conversation with Miss Ava, but I feel like Miss Ava and Miss Oprah are a prime example of like investing in yourself and using your money wisely and trying to give other people's opportunities, but also like making sure that you use your money for yourself to
Right.
to elevate yourself. And it's not being selfish in any way, but like whether that is property investment or she invested money into now what is called Array Campus, where she has a production company and a film company called Array, but now she has like this whole like 3 building campus basically, where she's able to do all her post-production in-house, and it's like hers. So I feel like they're prime examples of making sure that you are evolving yourself financially and also trying to help the people around you.
Right. Now, does it affect you when, obviously, we just seen Gail go through a situation, but like when people talk about Oprah negatively and you do have that relationship with them, does that affect you in any kind of way?
Of course. I mean, because I know her on a personal level. I feel like these people that are saying these terrible things don't know her, and they are just pulling a headline from the internet or whatever they see on Instagram. So I know what type of person she is, and I know what type of heart she has. So for people to be saying bad things about anybody that they don't know or they haven't had personal encounters with is selfish and unfair, because you don't know what a person is going through. Even though she is Miss Oprah Winfrey, she probably does go through things and has hard days. So I feel like people should just be cognizant of that.
Now, when you get to work with Oprah Winfrey, do you get the real phone number? Storm Ray got the real joint.
I mean, yes.
Okay.
So watch your mouth head crack, is what she said.
I don't know if she give out Stedman number and he kind of focus through everything.
No,
so.
I have her real phone number.
Oh, wow.
I do.
That's boss level.
Yeah.
So I would imagine in your phone you don't have her saved as that.
I don't. Of course not. I mean, there's not a lot of people that know my password. Like my mom and my sister, like know my password.
It's not Wrinkle, is it?
You
No,
know,
it's
if it
not.
says OW, we know what that means too,
Exactly.
right?
No, but I do have her number, and we try to stay in close contact, and I sent her an email for her birthday, and we try to stay connected. I feel
Right.
like that's important.
Who's on your latest group chat?
My latest group chat. I
Because
mean,
you got a lot of dope friends.
I do. My latest group chat would probably have to be a group chat that I have with Miss Mindy, Miss Reese, Miss Ava, and Miss Oprah. We have like
Y'all
a
got a
Wrinkle
group
in
chat?
Time group chat.
That's fire.
Still.
Can y'all add us in?
Right.
We don't have to say nothing. We just be in there.
Exactly. Of course, it was like heavier when we were doing the Wrinkle in Time press and the stuff that we were doing for Wrinkle. But Miss Ava will send a text to us all like randomly, and then we'll all start having conversations. So
Cool.
I'm glad that I'm connected with them.
Very dope.
You-
Now, go ahead.
Go ahead, sorry. So you also have a relationship, if I'm not mistaken, or you definitely took somebody to a homecoming or something. So why are you laughing? So what's going on with Saeed? And that's Yara's little brother, correct?
Yes. No, I love Yara and her family.
Are you
and-
joining the family anytime soon? I know you're young, but y'all make a cute couple.
Yeah, it starts early, right?
Questions we need to know.
No, yeah, me and Saeed we met at a party when like we were like 13. It was like a Disney industry party, and like we became
That's cute.
friends.
Right.
A Disney industry party. We became friends. And then he asked me out a couple months later. And like that's like he's my best friend. Like of course, like yes, he's like my boyfriend. But like he's my best friend.
That's
And
dope.
I feel like that's important to like just have your best friend that's like being like close to you, and like I could tell him anything. He's super funny, super intelligent, super handsome. So I'm glad that he's in my life.
Now, how are you Gen Z people doing it? Like, does he like send it via text? Asked it, will you go out with him, or do he ask you in person?
He's probably gonna, if he hears this, he's probably gonna be mad. But he did actually ask me over text. Because we were with each other that night, he was gonna ask me, but he was nervous, and we were around other people. So like later that night, he was like, "I have something to ask you," and I was like, "What?" And then he sent the text message, and I was like, "Oh, that's cute."
Did you kind of
What'd you
think?
say?
Yeah. Did you think that he was going to?
Hit him with the dots
No,
for a long
I
time.
had a feeling, but I kind of like I left him on red for like an hour.
Oh,
responded.
hard to get.
Yeah.
Huh?
I left him on red for like an hour, and then I responded.
Oh, that's super cute.
Yeah, game.
So with the movie being The Invisible Man, just judging by the trailer, you know, we got to a point 2020 where black people are getting killed in the trailers. Shout out to Aldous Hodge. I hope he makes it. I'm a little nervous.
Yes.
If there was a spinoff, and like you could be the Invisible Woman next lap,
Ooh.
what three
Okay.
things would you do, Storm Reid?
Oh my goodness. So when people have been asking me if I want to be invisible or if I had the opportunity to be invisible, I say no. Because, like, when you're being invisible, you're trying to be invisible. For the most part, you're trying to do something sneaky.
Right.
But I did think of one scenario. I'm a sneakerhead. I love sneakers.
Okay.
So if there was like a new sneaker drop that I needed to wait in line for, I'd like turn my invisibility on. I'd cut the line, and then like, of course I wouldn't steal the shoes. I'm not about that whole stealing life.
You know,
So
I got money. I got money. I ain't got to do that.
Of course, come back to myself. I'd be visible. I'd buy the shoes. I just wouldn't want to wait in line. Or I just like want to do good for people out in the world. But I feel like if you're trying to do good, I would want people to know that it was me helping them.
Right.
So I most likely wouldn't be invisible.
You're going to go to heaven twice. That's the most selfless thing I've heard
She
somebody
is,
say. Like,
yeah.
I want to do good anonymously. That's
Right.
pretty dope.
Yeah. You know what I always want to know when it comes to like horror, scary films? Do they actually like scare you intentionally, or is this all total acting? Because some of the stuff, like when I'm not good at watching horror films. Like tonight when we're watching this movie, I'll be like, I don't watch half of it. I miss most of the movie just covering my eyes. So do they ever kind of set you guys up where it's like, we want a real reaction? So like, boom, you know? Or
sometimes, I mean, with this one in particular, it was hard. It was really challenging because there's nothing there to act off of. Sometimes there'd be a person in like a green suit that was supposed to be like scary, but of course that's like distracting.
Right.
But I do have like a little scene with the Invisible Man where we're battling a little bit, but I had to like really work off myself, and it was just me, the camera, and just like me on the floor, just having to be very physical and very emotional at the same time.
Wow.
So I feel like we also created a really close bond on set where we did feel comfortable and we weren't walking on eggshells, because I think that is important. If it's not like a good environment or a comfortable environment, on top of it being a scary movie, then of course you'd probably feel uneasy. But with this one, I didn't.
So it's like, we need you to get scared right now. Your motivation is terrified. You're about to die. Can't ready, set, go.
Yeah,
then you just hit it.
Let's hear the scream.
bare
Do the
knuckle good
scream.
acting.
What is it?
Do the scream.
How do you do it? How do you get your face? How do you get your face together?
Ready?
Okay.
Okay.
Oh my God, that's
I'll
good.
call the cops. I'll let people know that there's a problem.
Scream. I heard I have a pretty good scream.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That's one of the ones where they would
I don't know
sample
who
and
said
put
that.
it in the sound library, and that's the screen they use for stuff.
Exactly.
That was strong. That was
So
good.
let's just say, Storm Reid, you are out at a karaoke bar, turning up with your friends, okay?
Oh, God.
What is your go-to song, and what song can you kill harder than anybody else in your crew?
Probably Bodak Yellow.
Of course, let's go.
I'm
You
not
set
hot as
yourself
that
up, I
is
think. I think you just said
I conveniently have.
Wow.
Hold on a second. 1 second. Hold on.
Wow.
It's not as easy as you think, guys, because I did do Bodak Yellow the other day, and I lost my breath.
Oh, no.
So let's see how good
And
you
because
do.
we don't want to mess up your bag, you could totally do the clean version, because we don't want to mess up your bag.
But where's her lyrics? She don't get to read the lyrics?
She
I
probably
think she know it. I feel like in her heart she know it.
Oh, no.
We just need a verse and a hook.
Hey.
We'll do it with you.
Say, Lil,
You
get
can't.
with me if you wanted to. These expensive, these is red bottoms,
Hey.
these is bloody shoes.
Okay.
Hit the store, I can get them both. I don't wanna choose. I'm quick, cut up, so
Cause
don't get comfortable. Look.
Hey, hey.
I
Your
make
money moves. Hey. Yo,
She made
Storm
money.
Reid.
I would've had
Storm
you.
Reid got that life though. She had the hand movements going. You gonna play a young Cardi B in the Cardi B story?
Young Cardi?
No. Keep your clothes on. Keep your clothes on now.
And yo, and for you to be killing it on the acting circle as hard as you are, I expected you to walk in and say, "Hello, y'all, I'm Storm Reid." All the Brits are getting the jobs, but yo, she American from Georgia. Yeah, killing it, man. Yo, go see The Invisible Man in theaters this week, man. One time,
That's
y'all, for
right.
Storm Reid.
2 times. Let's go.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
That was probably the best, like, most fun interview I've ever done.
We are the Morning Hustle.